Welcome to Omega Bonda Stories. Let's begin.
The letter arrived on a day when I had stopped expecting good news. My landlord had slid a final notice under my door, and the ink looked like a bruise on white paper. When the mail slot clacked, I thought it would be another bill. Instead, I saw a thick envelope with my name typed perfectly and a wax seal that looked too old to belong in my building. It said I had inherited a mansion. Mansion was a fantasy word. It did not belong to me. The letter named a woman I barely remembered. Great Aunt Isolde. She had visited once when I was 10, and she had called me Little Star and then vanished from my life like mist. The attorney who called me sounded careful. He said the estate was mine if I appeared in person to accept it. He said there were conditions. He said people were already asking questions. When I asked what kind, he paused and then said men who do not like being told no. I asked if I could decline. He said I could, but it would still drag me into court for months. Then he said something that made my skin go cold. He said it was safer to come in person. 2 days later, I boarded a train with a small bag and a heart that would not settle. I kept my hood up and my blocker patch hidden under my collar. I told myself this was practical. Sell the place. Pay debts. Start over. I told myself I would be gone within a week. The driver met me at the last stop. His car was black and quiet. We drove along a coastal road where cliffs rose like walls and the ocean looked like slate. Then we turned through iron gates that opened without a sound. The mansion waited behind cypress trees. Stone, glass, shadow. It looked less like a home and more like a private kingdom. As the car stopped, I felt something shift in the air. Not the weather, presence. Inside the foyer, the ceilings rose high and the floor reflected light. The attorney greeted me with papers and a tight smile. He spoke quickly about deeds and signatures. I nodded at the right moments while my eyes drifted to the grand staircase. I did not know why. I only knew I felt watched. Then footsteps came. Slow, controlled, not trying to impress. A man appeared at the top of the stairs and the house seemed to tighten around him. He was tall and dressed in black. His face was calm in a way that did not ask for approval. The attorney stopped speaking mid-sentence. Enigma. I did not know his name yet, but I knew the title. Every city has rumors about a boss who never raises his voice and never loses. They call him Enigma because no one knows what he truly wants. He descended and stopped a few steps away from me. He did not touch me. His gaze met mine as if he was reading something under my skin. My throat went dry. My blocker patch suddenly felt thin. The attorney tried to speak. The man lifted one hand and the attorney fell silent at once. You came, he said. This is my inheritance, I said. I am here to sign and leave. His eyes did not change. You cannot leave. Anger flashed in me because I hated being told what I could not do. You do not get to decide that. He watched me as if my defiance was expected. The mansion does not belong to you in the way you think it does, he said. Your aunt left more than walls. She left a promise. And the people who want this place will come for you before they come for me. For you. For me. The way he placed us in the same sentence made my pulse jump. I forced myself to breathe. Who are you? He held my gaze. You already know. My body did know. My instincts went still as if listening. I whispered, why are you here? Because the mansion is tied to my world, he said. And because you are tied to me. My stomach dropped. I shook my head. I do not even know you. You will, he said. Then he placed a sealed folder on the entry table. The seal carried the same crest as the wax on my letter. He did not open it. He only said, when you read that you will understand why I say you are my mate and why I cannot let you walk out those gates. Mate. The word hit my instincts like a spark. I stared at the folder as if it might bite while the mansion around me felt like it had just closed its mouth. I waited until the attorney left before I touched the folder. The Enigma boss watched from the far side of the foyer like a shadow that had decided to stand still. He did not tell me to open it. He did not stop me either. The seal broke with a soft sound. Inside were photographs and documents. The first image showed my aunt beside him. He looked younger, but the calm in his eyes was the same. The next page named him executor if I refused the inheritance and guardian of the estate until I was verified as safe. Safe. The word sat in my chest like a stone. The last page stole my breath. A clinic report stamped with a crest. It claimed resonance between an Omega identified as me and an Alpha identified by a coded title that could only mean him. It did not say love. It did not say choice. It said mate probability. It said destined. I looked up and found him watching me. This is forged, I said. It is not forged, he replied. It is also not consent. Then why are you saying mate? I snapped. Because others will say it first if I do not, he said. They will use it to claim you. I would rather you hear it from me with the truth behind it. I tightened my grip on the papers. I am leaving. I will sign the deed and sell this place, and you will never see me again. He did not move. You can do that later, he said. Not today. Who are you to decide? I demanded. Someone who knows what is coming, he said. Someone who would rather take your anger than attend your funeral. The bluntness made my stomach drop. Funeral was a word I never allowed near my own name. He spoke again. Someone is watching the gates. They are not here for the mansion alone. They are here for the person who inherited it. Who? I asked. A rival family, he said. They believe this property hides ledgers that could ruin them. Your aunt protected those ledgers. She also protected you by keeping you far away. The idea of my aunt hiding me on purpose made my throat burn. I asked why she trusted him. He answered in a quiet voice. Because I once saved her life without asking for payment. He guided me through the house without touching me. He showed me a library and a study and a painting that covered a safe. He did not open it. He only said, "This is what they want." How do you know? I asked. Because I built the walls they fear, he replied. Night fell early on the coast. Fog pressed against the windows. Staff moved through halls like quiet ghosts. Security stayed distant but present. I felt watched, and I did not know if it was protection or ownership. In my guest room, I found fresh clothes laid out in my size. That should have angered me. Instead, it reminded me how exposed I was. He knew too much already. I tried to call Mina and the line failed. I tried to connect to the internet and the signal dropped. Panic rose. When I opened the door, he was standing in the hallway as if he had sensed it. No signal, I demanded. What did you do? He held up a small device. A jammer, he said. Your phone is being tracked. This will keep you hidden for now. If you want to call someone, I will route it safely. I did not want to owe him anything. Still, I whispered Mina's name. He nodded once and made a call. He handed me his phone and then turned away as if privacy mattered. Mina answered in a rush. She said strangers were calling my job. She said men in suits had visited my building. She begged me to be careful. Fear tightened around my ribs. I ended the call and handed the phone back. They already found me, I said. They found your address, he corrected. Not your body. Not your body. Not yet. He stepped closer and stopped at a respectful distance. Tonight you stay inside the mansion, he said. You do not go near windows. You sleep. My people will keep watch. I wanted to argue. Then a metallic click cracked through the silence outside. Another sound like a chain shifting. The mansion lights flickered once. He turned his head toward the entrance as if listening to the bones of the property. His voice stayed calm. They are here. He spoke one quiet order into his earpiece. Lock down. Then he looked at me again. Stay behind me, he said. And the front door began to open from the outside. The door moved and cold air slid into the foyer like a warning. My instincts rose fast and bitter. The Enigma boss shifted so he stood between the entrance and me. He did not rush. His calm felt like a decision already made. A voice called from the darkness outside. It sounded polite. It used my name like it had a right. My stomach dropped. I had not said my full name to anyone here. Someone had carried it to this gate. The door opened wider and 3 men stepped inside. Neat coats. Calm faces. The oldest held a badge that meant nothing to me. He said he was here to ensure my safety and that I needed to come with him for my own protection. His scent was wrong. Too sweet. Too rehearsed. My instincts recoiled. The Enigma boss spoke once. Show your warrant. The man smiled. We can do this peacefully. Your aunt owed us. Now you have too little air. My throat tightened. I did not even know my aunt had enemies. I only knew the word ode sounded like a leash around my neck. The Enigma boss did not raise his voice. Leave now. The man sighed and the two beside him reached into their coats. Not weapons. Devices. A thin pulse of sound filled the air and my body betrayed me at once. My blocker patch heated. My knees went weak. My breath came too fast. Felt like someone had tried to flick a switch in my blood. Pheromone tech. I grabbed the banister to stay upright. Panic surged, and with it, the humiliating instinct to seek an alpha anchor. I hated that reflex and hated that my body did not care about my pride. The Enigma boss turned toward me and stepped closer. He stopped just short of touching. Look at me, he said. I forced my eyes to his. The world narrowed. His scent was controlled, but it was there like rain on stone. It did not push. It waited. Breathe, he said. Slow. You are safe. I will not touch you without permission. Permission cut through the haze. I nodded because it was all I could do. His hand lifted. May I? My throat burned. I nodded again. His palm settled on my shoulder through my clothes. Warm. Steady. The shaking eased. The panic did not vanish, but it stopped ruling me. I realized he was not using his presence to dominate. He was using it to shield. Behind him, his security moved. Quiet. Precise. The devices were disabled. The pulse stopped. My knees threatened to give out anyway, and I clutched his sleeve for one desperate second. Shame rose and I let go. The older man watched and his smile turned cruel. There it is, he said. The mate's response. The world will love this. The Enigma boss did not look at him. His gaze stayed on me. Are you with me, he asked. Yes, I whispered. Then he turned back to the intruders. Take them alive, he said. No harm. Record everything. No harm. Even now he refused to let violence become the language of his power. That choice hit me harder than the fear. The men were escorted out, still hissing threats about courts and debts and ownership. When the doors closed, the mansion felt too quiet. My body shook with aftershocks. I looked at him and my voice came out small. You could have let them take me. It would have been easier. Something shifted in his eyes. A shadow of pain. Then he said with quiet certainty, I would burn this mansion down before I let anyone drag you out of it. He said it like a vow, and nothing in his tone asked me to repay it. I stood there staring at the locked door and the fog beyond. I thought about my small life and how it had vanished in one day. I thought about the report that said mate and the men who tried to make it a weapon. I thought about the Enigma boss who asked permission before touching my shoulder while the world tried to take my body without asking at all. My heart was not ready to accept what it meant. But my instincts were already rewriting the map of my safety around him. I didn't know it then, and my heart wasn't ready to accept what my instincts were screaming, but something had already shifted between us, and there was no going back. If you're feeling what I felt in that moment, then you understand why I need you to stay with me through this journey. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens when he finally breaks his silence, because I promise you it will shatter everything you thought you knew about us. When the adrenaline faded, I felt hollow. I sat on the bed with my hands pressed together and tried to remember how my life had been only a week ago. I had been worried about bills. Now men with false badges knew my name and called me heir like it was a threat. The Enigma boss did not crowd me. A doctor checked my patch and left. After that, the house went quiet. I could feel security outside my door like a distant heartbeat. I wanted to run. Then I pictured the gate opening and the older man smiling. Fear is not just a feeling for an Omega. It is a map. I found the library because I needed air. The Enigma boss was already there. He stood at a shelf with an old ledger in his hands. He closed it when he sensed me. Tell me what my aunt left here, I said. He hesitated and then gestured to a chair. Sit if you want. Leave if you want. I sat because my knees did not trust themselves. Your aunt kept records of every agreement the rival families made through this coast, he said. Shipping, labor, bribes disguised as charity, names, dates, accounts. Enough to break the power they built. So they want it destroyed, I whispered. They want it owned, he corrected. They want to control who falls and who rises. Grief bloomed in me. My aunt had not been a distant ghost. She had been a quiet guardian, and she had left me on the wall. Why me? I asked. Why not you? His eyes met mine. Because I can survive the war, he said. You cannot survive being the symbol they fight over unless someone stands close. He said he would move the ledgers tonight and file protective orders tomorrow. I heard myself ask, and if they still come? Then I will keep you hidden until the danger passes, he said. Hidden felt like a cage. I lifted my chin. I do not want to be hidden in your house while you handle my life like paperwork. I want autonomy. I want my own keys. I want an exit no one controls except me. And I want mates to never be used as a trap. He was silent for a long moment. Then he nodded once. There is a guest cottage on the north side of the grounds, he said. Separate lock. No staff access. Only you. You will have keys. You will have a gate code. If you choose to leave, my people will not stop you. They will only follow at a distance to keep you alive. The offer hit me like warmth and fear at once. A real exit. Why would you do that? I asked. Because a mate bond without choice is not a bond, he said. It is a crime. My throat burned. Do you believe we are mates? I asked. He looked toward the window. I believe there is resonance, he said. I also believe you are allowed to say no. I whispered, I do not want destiny. I want trust. Then we build trust, he said. One day at a time. No claims. No pressure. That night he walked me to the cottage and stopped at the threshold. He did not enter. You can lock this from the inside, he said. If you call my name, I will come. If you do not, I will stay away. I asked who sent the false badge. Lucian Hale answered. The man who calls himself a businessman in daylight. Hale will come tomorrow with lawyers and cameras, the Enigma boss said. He will say you are mentally unfit to manage the estate. He will say you need guardianship. He will say I am hiding you to steal your inheritance. My chest tightened. And what will you do? I will meet him in public, he said. I will keep you out of it unless you choose to stand beside me. Stand beside him. The idea terrified me and warmed me at the same time. I thought about running and I saw the gate again. I thought about staying and I saw the foyer where he had asked permission before touching me. I said I will stand beside you. He went still. Then he nodded once. Tomorrow you will hear things about me, he said. Things meant to frighten you away. Do not believe them without asking me first. Then he added a softer line that made my heart stutter. If you still choose to stand beside me after you hear them, then I will tell you what my silence has been hiding. I did not sleep. He walked into the dark and left me holding the key while the word tomorrow felt like a cliff. Morning came with a sky the color of steel. I walked from the cottage to the main house with my key in my pocket like a promise to myself. I could leave. I could also return. The Enigma boss waited near the foyer in a simple dark suit. When he saw me, he did not smile. He asked, "Are you still choosing this?" "Yes," I said. My voice shook. I still chose it. Cameras waited when we arrived. They shouted my name like it belonged to them. The Enigma boss stepped slightly ahead of me so his body blocked the worst of the light. He did not touch me. He just stayed close enough that I could breathe. Hale stood with lawyers and a perfect smile. He spoke about my aunt and her debts. He spoke about my Omega nature like it was a flaw. He said I needed a guardian for my own good. Then he said mate and looked at the Enigma boss as if he had set a trap. The Enigma boss let him finish. Then he stepped to the microphone and his voice carried without effort. You do not get to use an Omega body as evidence of incompetence, he said. You do not get to confuse protection with possession. A screen behind them lit up. Evidence files appeared. The false badge entry. The pheromone device. Bank transfers. Hale tried to laugh. The laughter died when a warrant notice flashed with his name. Hale turned to me for one last weapon. Tell them he demanded. Tell them he is your mate. The crowd leaned forward. The Enigma boss turned to me first. His gaze asked permission. I understood. If I wanted silence, he would give it. If I wanted truth, he would stand beside me. I stepped forward. My hands shook, but my voice steadied. I inherited this mansion and I will manage it, I said. I am afraid and I am learning to be brave. No one will use a bond rumor to take my rights away. Today I choose my autonomy. Hale tried to step toward me and security stopped him from a distance. The Enigma boss said two quiet words. Buy the book. Hale was escorted away still shouting. My legs felt weak as the crowd broke into noise again. I realized I had spoken in public without shrinking. My throat burned from holding tears back. The Enigma boss did not praise me like a trophy. He simply angled his body so cameras could not crowd me. In that small act, I felt something inside me unclench. I had been hunted by stories. For one moment, I was writing my own. Back at the coast, the mansion gates opened, and for the first time, they did not feel like teeth. In the library, the Enigma boss placed keys on the table. Cottage keys, gate code, a car key, an attorney contact that worked for me, not for him. "This is real," I whispered. "It is yours," he said. I looked up. "What was your silence hiding?" He inhaled as if it cost him. "I have been alone for a long time," he said. "I feared becoming another alpha who thinks wanting means taking. I called you mate because it was the word they would weaponize. I also called you mate because my instincts have been saying it in my blood for longer than I can admit." My heart thudded hard. I expected him to claim. He did not. He waited. "I am not ready for fate to write about my life," I said. "But I am ready to keep building trust." He nodded once like that was sacred. "Then we keep building." That night, I opened the safe with the code my aunt had hidden in a book. Inside were the ledgers and a note in her hand. "Little star, the house is yours, but your life is yours too. Choose wisely." When I returned to the library, he was still there. He asked one soft question. "May I stay near you tonight?" I answered with my own quiet bravery. "You may sit with me. No more." He sat across from me at the long table. Outside, the ocean kept moving and the mansion kept breathing, and for the first time I felt like this place could become a home. That's how my world changed and how I found home in the last place I expected. If the story made you feel something deep and real, then I create these emotional worlds every single week for hearts like yours that crave connection that goes beyond words. Subscribe so you never miss the moment when two broken souls find each other in the darkness. Your support means everything, and it lets me keep bringing you stories that understand what you're searching for. Hit that subscribe button and let's feel everything together, because you deserve stories that see you.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more emotional stories.